Hey y'all, this is kind of a little bit of a bittersweet video. Last day of the season, yesterday. I just put up the last bit of my furs, just coon. Didn't get any coyotes, no fox. Only got 2 possums. Imagine that. Oh my gosh. This is my 50th season. 50th. I was wanting to go out with a bang. I didn't even come close. I was wanting to get 250 coon, at least 50 coyotes, 75 fox, 100 muskrats or so, which muskrats are real hard to find around here. Didn't even come close. I could only trap the last, what was that, 11 or 13 days of the season. I think it was 13 days of the season. That's all I could trap. Beginning of the season, mid-season, just couldn't do it. Finances, life, it all adds up. You know, you got to live. You got to do what you got to do. But trapping is my life. But by gosh, this is my 50th season. At least I got in a little bit. Wasn't near what I wanted, but about I think it was 13 days. Out of 13 days, I got 75 coon, and only 2 possums and 1 skunk. Not bad. They're late season coon. They're tough. They're hard to get. You know, your late season coon, they're hard to get in your DPs. They're just walking right past your DPs. You know, your dog proofs. They're not interested in food whatsoever. They'll just walk right past them. And then we got a lot of frozen ground here in Ohio, southeast Ohio. You know, then your dog proofs get frozen to the ground, and all they do is spin a little bit. They don't come completely out of the ground, which is bad news. Don't do that. If your ground freezes, pull your dog proofs, please, because you're just going to get broken legs and chew offs. It's not good. Not good at all. That's when you go to your old reliables, your long springs, your coil springs, you know, something that's easier to freeze proof to the ground. You know, your trail sets, just blind sets. On these trails that these coon are going up and down, just put your coils and your long springs down there, and they'll step right in it. Just put a little stepping stick and they'll step right in it. I'll bet you 60% of the coon I got in the last 13 days, 11, 13 days, whatever, have been from coil springs. They've been walking right past my DPs, going right out around them. And I mean, I put some nice, good, smelly stuff in there too. They're just walking right around them. But you know what? There's always next year. Fur prices are down anyway, but by gosh, I was still out there and doing what I could do, helping the farmers out. The farmers are my backbone. I don't do public land. I do not trap public land at all. I will not, won't, ain't happening. I lose too much fur, lose too many traps. Not doing it. So be kind to your farmers. Talk to them and prove to them what you're doing. And they're going to see the results in the end, what you're doing. I think it was last October or 1st of November, between some of the farmers that I'm talking to, I saved them 9,000 bushels of corn. with all the coon that I got last year. I got 158 coon last year. 9,000 bushels of corn is what they gained from me trapping on their land. That's good stuff, man. And you know what? They're begging me to come back this year. I wished I could have been out there the 10th of November. That's when our season here in Southeast Ohio starts. 10th of November. I'd love to have been out there. Just couldn't do it. Coronavirus shut everything down. Finances. It hurt a lot of people. I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not, because, oh my gosh, I'll tell you what, I'll get, oh, yeah, politics. Whole new world. But anyway, I didn't put out the content that I wanted to this year because I wanted everybody, you know, to see how you can trap like a professional on a poor boy income. I'm a poor boy trapper. And you can catch a lot of fur, and you don't have to travel miles and miles and miles. And I'll show you how to do it, because I do it every year. I don't travel miles and miles and miles. The longest line that I have, my biggest loop, like last year, my biggest loop round trip was 67 miles. 67 miles round trip. And that, I covered a lot of land. But I only trapped for 3 weeks. Then I took 5 weeks off. Then I trapped for, I believe it was almost 2 weeks again. And then I took like a month off again, and then I trapped the last week of the season. I got 158 coon, 13 coyotes, I don't know, 8, 9 fox, whatever it was. And our fox population's down here in Ohio. It's down. I caught more grays than I did red. And grays are rare here in Southeast Ohio. But they're making a comeback. So's the reds. Just got to knock these coyotes out. But, oh my gosh, I just put up the last bit of coon, let my last bit of fur here probably half an hour or so ago, and I'm contemplating, do I put up a video or not? I'm pretty depressed, pretty bummed, because I didn't even come close to my goal. For my 50th season, I wanted to go out with a huge bang. Next year, we'll see what happens. But I still want to continue to put out videos throughout the spring, summer, and fall. Because I do a lot of nuisance control. I'll give you all some tips on how to get a lot of fur without traveling miles and miles and miles. Do it basically like a professional, and get a lot of fur for very little money. We'll just see what happens next year, next season. I'm going to try my darndest to get out there. I'd like to actually trap every single day of this upcoming season. Let's hope the fur markets go up. Prices go up, because this I've been shipping with fur harvesters. I've been sending to North American Fur Auctions for 29 years probably, until just 3 years ago. I'm glad I didn't ship 3 years ago with them. because I had a loss, huge. But fur harvesters, they're picking up the slack. There's a few other buyers, but Grenwalls, or however you pronounce his name, I wish he'd come here in Southeast Ohio, but he doesn't, not yet. When the fur market goes up, which I believe it's going to, because this coronavirus has shut everybody down for a whole year. Plus prices were down before that. So these fur buyers that are, using trim for garments, whatever, they're not getting the fur because people aren't out there trapping. People aren't out there hunting. They're just not. There's no money in it. Why would you? Well, I do it because I love to. I don't. If I had to pay to trap, I would. I'd find a way to pay to trap if I had to. Now we got all these regulations and stuff coming down about anti-trappers. Just be careful what y'all post on Facebook, pictures. If it looks gruesome, don't put it on there, because they're just using it. That's ammo. That's ammo for the antis, and they will use it. They will, and that's how they're going to get it through. Don't do it. I don't post nothing. Over my 50 years, I've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of critters. Thousands of them. I used to travel from Ohio to northern Michigan. Flesh and coon for fur buyers, or flesh and critters. 90% of it, 95% of it's been coon. I'd do 100 a day. I'd flesh 100 a day, and I'd skin 100 a day. I'd get $1 a piece. I'd make $200 a day, fleshing and skinning. Those days are gone. They're gone. Why? Antis has got a lot to do with it. Well, we're starting to get into the politics here, and I don't want to do that. But I just put up my last bits of fur here, and that's it for me. I'm done. Done for this year. I'll still be doing my nuisance trapping and whatever, but I'm not allowed to keep anything because it's out of season. So we'll just see what next year brings. And I believe it's going to be better next year or the year after. Because like I said, all these people that are buying furs for trim or whatever, they're not getting any. So they're not putting out their fur coats and their trim and, whatever. And they're going to be getting desperate. So let's hope North Korea, Korea period, Italy, Russia, China, let's hope they start buying, because those are some of the biggest buyers. That's going to put more money in the trappers and the hunters' pocket. I know people that are getting rid of their coonhounds, and just because there's no money in it. They can't even pay for their fuel. Yeah, it's a great hobby. Sure it is. But for some of us, it's a lifestyle. I was born and raised a trapper. My grandmother taught me how to trap when I was 5 years old. I'm 57. I missed 2 seasons of trapping because I was in the military. Other than that, this would have been my 52nd season. Excuse me. That's not a coronavirus cough. I've already had coronavirus. I had that 1st of August. Wife and I did both. But next year, look out. I don't care. Like I said, if I got to pay to trap, I will. I don't care what the prices do. And no, I'm not going to be flooding the market like that Iowa trapper. God bless his heart. He was trying to get 1,000 coon. I got to give him a shout out. Oh yeah, I watched every single one of his videos. Iowa Trapper. Check him out. He went for 1,000 coon and just came up short like 100 and some coon. Pretty good. He nailed them. He did. He tried. He gave it his all. Yeah, but the year before he got like 1,100 coon or whatever, and you take that many coon out of an area, you're not going to have that many the next year. You're just not. Some of the places I trapped this year, they weren't there because I took several coon out last year. And they're smaller. They're not near as big. Which is a good thing, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Thinning out the herd. But I'm not in it for the money. I am not. Never was, never will be. I'm doing it for the love of it. Well, we'll see what happens next year. Hopefully I'll get my 250 coon, and that'd be nice. I've come close. I've got like 241 coon. That's the most I've ever gotten. And I got 24 coon in one day. One day. One of these days I'm going to get 25 coon or more in one day. I'm going to do it. I will. Watch me. Let's hope it's next year. I got 19 this year. That was the most I ever got, or this season. A lot of 9, 10, 11 days. You know, a couple of days I had 3. Yeah, it happens. Let's see what happens next year. This is a bittersweet video, and I want to try to keep them going. I'm going to show you all some of my tips and tricks and see what happens. I'm going to go have me another beer. See y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See ya.